Hello and welcome to day two of the Profit and Cash Flow series, the holiday season, Profit and Cash Flow season. So, as you know, the holidays are meant to be a joy and celebration, but business owners, they often come with unwelcome guests, disappearing profits. That is the unwelcome guest, the disappearing profits. So, today I'm going to be diving into why businesses lose profit during the holiday season and what you can do to stop the leaks. That is what we'll be focusing on today. So let's talk about the three biggest culprits: cash flow leaks, emotional spending, and scattered data. That is what we'll be diving into today. Those are the biggest boogeyman when it comes to losing profits during the season, during the holiday season. So let's go into reason number one. If you have any questions, make sure that you drop it now and I will answer it during or at the end of this session, or I will come back later if I do not get around to it immediately. So let's get started now. Reason number one why businesses lose profit during the holiday season: cash flow leaks. It is more it's a hemorrhage at this point in time of year than usual times of the year. So why are they, or why are you losing cash flow? Why do you have cash flow leaks during the season? So small unnoticed expenses that quietly add up. That is usually what happens. That is usually the biggest culprit when it comes to this. So small unnoticed expenses that quietly add up. Example: shipping fees if you're in the product space. So shipping fees is one thing that adds up during the season. Also, last minute inventory. Again, for those in the product space, last minute inventory usually, throws in a wrench. And overtime pay. It's seasonal. It's that time of year. You're trying to, get your stuff out there, deliver what you promised you deliver to your clients, to your customers, and sometimes it might require overtime. So that is hits the payroll. And also marketing that does not deliver ROI. That is a huge one. Marketing that does not deliver ROI. So although there's a myth that, during this season, during this period is quiet, it actually isn't. It is quite busy. As I mentioned yesterday, if you've not watched yesterday's, you want to pop in to my profile and make sure that you watch yesterday's so that you can see again how I am elaborating over the next couple of days when it comes to profit and cash flow clarity for the holiday season. So, marketing that doesn't deliver ROI is another big one. So, why does this happen? Well, number one, the primary reason why this happens is the increased activity during the holiday season. Okay, Q4, Christmas, um, borderline New Year, but mainly Christmas, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Halloween. Do you realize that all of these holidays happen in Q4? So it's a very active period of year for all different types of businesses. Okay. And then another reason why this happens is the lack of financial clarity. The lack of financial clarity is another element that layers on. So it is not necessarily that just the one thing would cause, everything to go haywire. That is not it. What usually happens is that it's an accumulation of the different aspects. It's an accumulation of all the different little leaks, that sinks the ship. That is what happens. So, what's the impact of this? Well, cash flow leaks might seem small. That is usually what tricks you. They're usually, small things that go unnoticed that you don't necessarily, really pay attention to, $10 here, £20 there. No big deal. It's the accumulation of it over time, especially during this time of year. So, cash flow leaks might seem small, but together That is the thing. Together, they can drain your profits faster than you realize. That is what we need to pay attention to. So, yesterday I mentioned about auditing your finances, auditing to make sure you are aware of where your money is going. It's not necessarily that where your money is going is right or wrong. That is not the point here. The point here is that it is intentional. You are aware of what is happening and it doesn't hit you by surprise that, oh, where is it gone? I don't know. That is not what we want. So, what is the solution? What can you do to make sure that you are in control of your finances? You want to make sure that you are plugging those cash flow leaks within your business. So, what can you do? Track your expenses weekly during this season. Okay, normally with my clients, we normally do this on a monthly basis, again, because during the year it's not as busy. But at this particular point in time, my recommendation would be to track your expenses on a weekly basis. Okay, you want to make sure that you're aware of the ins and outs, especially the outs. You want to make sure that you're aware of what is happening on a weekly basis. You want to make sure that you're aware that nothing necessarily catches you by surprise. You want to make sure that you are aware. Can you repeat? I keep saying, can you see? I'm keep saying being aware, being aware, being aware, being aware. Your biggest superpower when it comes to financial clarity is awareness. Okay, that is the number one thing that you want to make sure that you are in the loop of, you are in the know-how of. You want to be aware of what is going on with the money going in and out of your business. That is what it is to be a CEO. Okay, your accountant doesn't necessarily do this, and your bookkeeper doesn't necessarily do this, your CPA, all those guys. Okay, they're there for different functions within your finance department, but you as the CEO need to have a high level view of what is happening in the business. So the number one is tracking your expenses on a weekly basis. Number two solution to try to curb, to try to plug your cash flow leaks in your business within this season is, again, a simple audit that can uncover where the leaks are and then help you stop it faster. You being aware of where it is makes you more focused, makes you more intentional, and makes you use your resources more efficiently because you're not throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what works, and you're not, putting resources in the wrong places that don't give you an ROI. Okay, it's about return on investment of every activity that you do in your business. Sometimes it will be return on investment in time, you regain time, you increase money, you keep more money, or you are compliant. That is also a return on investment, being compliant with whether it's state laws, with whether it's country laws, with whether it's tax laws, whatever the case might be. It is important for you as a business owner to be compliant as well. And that will leave it to the accountants mainly, but you want to be in the loop because at the end of the day, if anything goes wrong, they're coming for you. They're going to be asking questions to you, the CEO of the business. All right, so that was one. Let's move on now to reason number two why businesses, what was it again? Reason number two why businesses lose profit during the holiday season. So before I tell you what number two is, do you track your expenses? How often do you track your expenses? Can you think of one expense that you might be overspending over this season? I want to see that in the comments below in regards to where you are, what you see, what's the overview you've got of your business, and how you go about, keeping an eye on what it is that moves the needle within your business. So there is more to it than just bringing in massive sales and bringing in huge revenue. There is a lot more to it to make sure that you're keeping a lot more of the money that you're earning. And it's not just coming in bulk and leaving in bulk as well. So, answer that question for me. What is one expense? What is one expense that you might be overspending on? It'll be great to have a chat around that. You'd be surprised that there's quite some common ones, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to see what appears in the comments. Okay, so let's move us to reason number dos. So our second reason is emotional spending. In all the years that I have worked in the finance space, so I've been in the space for what, over 17, going to 20 years now, actually. I kind of stopped counting. But in the 20 odd years that I've been in the finance space, one thing that I've definitely seen within myself, but also within my clients and just in the financial space as a whole, emotions rides on a lot of what, where, and how people spend their money. Okay, so emotional spending is our reason number two why profits are lost. So, what does this look like? Investing in unnecessary tools, that is a big one. I could tell my story personally about investing in tools that I think I will need at a future date, at when my business is at a certain size, when my business is receiving a certain amount of revenue, when my business has a certain amount of team members. I invested in tools that were not necessarily right for me at that point in time. They did what they promised would do for my business, but I had all the bells and whistles, which I didn't require at that point in time in my business. So investing in unnecessary tools or services because you fear of missing out. Emotional spending. FOMO is a big, big one. I know my colleagues in the marketing space will, tell you that FOMO is part of business. Okay, bear with me briefly here. So, my colleagues in the marketing space would actually explain to you how to use FOMO within your marketing, how to use FOMO within your sales. That is not what I'm talking about here. This is different. This has got to do with your FOMO and how it is not in alignment with your vision. It is not in alignment with your strategy. It is not in alignment with your goals for your business at this particular point in time, quarter, year, whatever it is. Okay. So, the latest I mentioned yesterday about shiny objects. If you saw my post today as well, I talked about, the shiny tool syndrome. So this is what it looks like when we talk about emotional spending. Unnecessary investing in tools and also the fear of missing out. That's a big one. And then offering the second reason what it looks like emotional spending is offering excessive discounts to drive sales out of panic. Okay. Again, it's not about right or wrong. It's about the intentionality. It's about the thought. It's about the reasoning behind it. If you're coming from a place of fear, if you're coming from a place of panic, that is very, very concerning. So when you keep slashing your prices. When you do not get a sale at a particular price point, you slash the price. When you do not get a sale at a particular price point, you slash the prices further. So when you're slashing the price, it's a race to the bottom. So when it comes to things like pricing, you want to make sure, okay, first, am I in the right place? All right. There is no point of you trying to sell meat at a fish market. So, are you in the right place? Are you attracting the right customer? So, the customers that are there to buy salmon might not be the same customers that want to buy caviar. Who are you talking to? So that is another element that you want to look when it comes to pricing. And also pricing, what is the market demanding? What is the market willing to pay for? And what are they willing to pay for? So before you start going slash 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 and cutting prices and discounting and so forth, you want to make sure that you go through this three-step process to almost validate to yourself that it is not an emotional spend. You want to validate that, okay, it is thought through, and these are the reasons why I'm either increasing my price or lowering my price. But here we're talking about excessive discounting. So that is what it looks like when I'm talking about emotional spending in the business space. Why does this happen? Well, 'tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la. So the holidays amplify emotions. There's a lot of emotions taking place happening during this season. And a lot of our spending, a lot of our money stories, a lot of what we tell ourselves about our reality is linked to some sort of emotion or the other. And they're all highlighted by all the fairy lights and Christmas lights and tree lights, and all the lights shine on these emotions, especially in this season. I don't know why, but it just happens. Everything that you were able to handle and hide and put under the blanket or under the couch for the last 11 months just seems to all bubble up in this particular season. So the fear of falling behind, you know, Q1, you were like, okay, I've got Q2, I could make it. Q3, I'm like, okay, Q3, I could make it. You've been going, and now we're in Q4, and when the last month of Q4, total panic, total Armageddon, because you fear of falling behind. Okay. And then there's the guilt about not doing enough. Oh my goodness, is this one. And I could relate to this as well, because you kind of relate what you are doing to the results that you are getting. And what tends to happen is that sometimes they are not necessarily like for like, and sometimes they're not necessarily happening at the same time. So if you have read the book Oversubscribed, he kind of talks about having like a 3 month pipeline, where, or 90 days just for ease, where what you do now might not necessarily show up into your pipeline, might not necessarily turn into revenue until, in 3 months' time. That's why you always have to, even whilst you're delivering your service, you want to make sure that you are still working on that front end, making sure that individuals and prospects are coming through your pipeline. So when it comes to this point in time, you might fear that all what you are doing has not necessarily bared any fruits. And it could not be more wrong, because sometimes it's not the action, sometimes it's the timing as well. That it might not necessarily be the timing for those fruits to bear. It could be something that is round the corner. So again, mindset, where you are at, and your reality might be skewed based on what you can see, obviously. So that is one. And then there is pressure to keep up with your competitors. As much as you keep an eye on your competitors, as much as I keep an eye on my competitors, the pressure to keep up, the pressure to use the latest gadgets. And now, it's all about AI and, automating this, automating that. Sometimes the pressure of doing that can cause you to emotional spend. That is where you start investing in unnecessary tools. Okay. So, as I mentioned, the holidays amplifies emotions, fear of falling behind, big one, guilt about not doing enough, big one, and the pressure of keeping up with competitors, big one. Can you see here? And usually it could be a combination of the three, but there's one that is more pressuring than the other most times. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because you, as entrepreneurs, you, as small business owners, you are like, I feel that. I hear you, Anui. And I totally resonate with that, because that is what I'm living right now. That is what I am feeling right now. And I just need a break. I just need a breather. And how do I come to this? How do I get the breather? How do I get that financial clarity? How do I make sure that I'm not losing profits? And how do I make sure that my cash flow is chef's kiss? Chef's kiss. Oh my days, I'm stumbling on my words. So, what's the impact of all of this? I cannot talk to you about what it looks like when you emotional spend as a business owner and why this happens. So, what does this have to do with your business, and what impact, more importantly, does this have on your business? So these decisions often burn cash. Let it burn, let it burn. No, we're not burning cash. It is not burning. So these decisions often burn cash without delivering results. That is the main issue here. Okay. Every dollar you spend in your business needs to have an ROI. You need to be aware of the dollars you are spending. You need to be aware of the ROI it needs to bring in. So, what is that metric? And you need to be aware of if that ROI has been met or not. Three prong: what it is, how to measure it, and if it's being met or not. That is how you go about it. So the impact is that these decisions would burn through your cash without delivering results, leaving you starting the new year at a loss. And the reason I'm doing this series at this point in time of the year is because I want you to start 2025. I want you to start the new year with a bang, bang, boom, boom, pop, pop. I want you to start, I want you to start the year strong. I want you to start the year with confidence. I want you to start the year with clarity around where your money is coming from, where your money is going, and what you are doing with your money to get that ROI. What are the tasks you're giving your money to give you an ROI? Because at the end of the day, we're talking about sustainable long term strategic plans and actions and insights. And I'm going to go into that a bit further in regards to getting actionable insights for your business so that you have that strategic long-term sustainable business in the long term. I'm saying long term a lot, but that's because it's something close to my heart. I am sick and tired of seeing businesses, bow out of the game a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years because of stuff like cash flow issues. It hurts me because those businesses were there serving a community, serving families, providing for communities and families and so forth. And when they go out of business, it's not just, the employees and the business owner that's impacted. It's your customer base, it's your community, and all of those elements. That's why I want more business owners to look at their business not just as an income generating vehicle, but as a wealth building vehicle. Okay. And some of the times why you end up with cash flow issues and profit loss is because your business is there just to provide an income where you're able to pay your bills, sort out payroll, and that is all. But your business can do a lot more for you when you start thinking of it as a wealth building vehicle. An example I could give is, okay, when you think of a home, okay, this is one of the big major players when it comes to wealth building, real estate. When you have a property, when that property is to live in, is for you and your family to live in, you think of it differently compared to if that property is an investment property. Just think about it for a split second. Can you see the difference in mentality? Can you see the difference in processes and systems that you put in place? Because one is there for you to live in. So think of that as an income generating business, and one is there for investing, wealth building vehicle. So that is the shift that I do with my clients, and that's the shift that I want you to do as well when it comes to your business. Hence why I'm going through, profits and cash flow day in, day out, because that is the cornerstone of a sustainable business. And to have a sustainable business long term, you want to have strategic things in place that will allow you to be able to do this without burning out, without overwhelm, and without, giving up hours and 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 hours of your time to your business. Because at the end of the day, you went into business for the business to support your lifestyle, not the other way around, which you've heard over and over again, but we are all guilty of it at some point or the other. So you want to be aware of that. You want to, keep an eye. So, what is the solution to emotional spending? I hear you ask. Well, if you didn't ask, I'm still going to answer the question. What is the solution? So, pause before spending. Pause before spending. You do this as well with leadership. It's very, very big in the leadership space as well. When we talk about pausing, when we talk about, sleep on it and then come back to it. And if you still have that emotion, if, the reasons are still justified to you, then you want to move to the next step. So pause before spending. Ask yourself, Will this directly impact my bottom line, or is it an emotional reaction? Yes or no? Would it impact the bottom line, or is it an emotional reaction? And when you think about your bottom line, it doesn't have to necessarily be a direct link to the bottom line. Sometimes it's indirect. Like earlier on, I mentioned around compliance. So a lot of what your accountant will help you do is make sure that you're compliant. So at that point in time, it might not directly impact your bottom line, but you being compliant means HMRC won't fine you. You being compliant is making sure that when you're investigated, when you're audited, everything is in order. So sometimes the bottom line is an opportunity cost. Okay, it's almost saving you the trouble, because when you do get fined, that is money that is leaving and that will impact your bottom line. So do you see how indirectly it affects the bottom line? So when I'm talking about pause before spending, ask yourself, will this directly impact my bottom line, or is it an emotional reaction? You want to, think it through, because sometimes it might not be direct, it's an indirect hit to your bottom line, aka fines, aka sometimes bank charges as well. Is an indirect, because that cost then will hit the bottom line, but you doing that activity at that point in time does not hit your bottom line. So you paying your credit card on time doesn't necessarily hit your bottom line, but if you fail to do so, that's when it hits. So it actually does hit your bottom line. Am I making sense here? Are you with me? Yes, you are. Awesome. So that is how you go about emotional spending. So now I'm going to move us on to point number 3 in regards to why businesses lose profit during the holiday season. And the last one is scattered data. Okay, what does this mean? Your financial data, your business data, actually, inventory numbers, performance metrics are all over the place, or worse, they are missing, nowhere to be found. It's not being tracked, it's not being collected to even be tracked. So, when it comes to your data, the major Achilles heel for businesses is that they're collecting data, but they're not using the data. They're collecting data, but they're not collecting it properly. And sometimes they're not even collecting the data whatsoever, or the data is scattered in a million and one systems, and poor soul, somebody is trying to put it together on a spreadsheet. And most times than none, it's not the full suite of the business. It's usually either focusing only on sales, or it's usually only focusing on marketing, or it's usually only focusing on finance. It's not the bird's eye view of everything within your business. So if you look at it like a house, you might just be in the living room, or you might just be in the kitchen, or you might just be in a bedroom. But if you have like the floor plan overview, you can see all the rooms, all the square meters of their house. That is what I talk about when I say holistically look at the numbers. What is it telling you about your business? What's it telling you about the structure of your house? What can you improve? What can you tweak? What can you optimize? All right. So that is what it means when I say scattered data, not only financial, marketing data, sales data, operational data, the big four. All right. And why is this a problem? When you are guessing instead of using data, if you watch yesterday's, you would see that I talk a lot about gut driven passion decisions. Although passion decisions might be good in the short term and work in the short term, it is a big no. It does not work when it comes to strategic long term decision making. It doesn't. There's no two ways about it. This is a fact. It doesn't. So if you're looking to scale, if you're looking to, have a business that's sustainable long term, you have to transition to data driven decisions and not just gut driven, passion driven decisions. So that is what it looks like when you're guessing instead of using data, and when you're more likely to make costly mistakes. This is when it happens. when you go with the feel, with the mood, with the intuition, with the passion, and not necessarily with the full picture of the data. All right. How does this impact you and what impact does it have? Without clear insights into what it is that is happening in your business from a data perspective, you can identify where your profits are coming from, dun, 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 or where they're leaking. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So that is what your data is going to tell you. It's going to almost either confirm what it is that your gut is already feeling or negate what it is that your gut is feeling. So your data is very, very important. What is the solution then to scattered data? What can you do now to make sure that you plug those profit losses and profit leaks, and also you put a curb on your cash flow leaks as well? So bring all your data in one place. This is my specialty. So when you join me as part of the Financial Navigator, this is what I do for my clients. I basically bring together all of their data in one place and build out a dashboard for them so that they're able to see the key metrics in each of the sectors: finance, operations, sales, marketing, so that they can see exactly what is happening and how that is impacting the bottom line. So I connect the dots and I share those insights with the business owner. So what you want to do is bring all your data in one place, a unified system, integrated, one place, one worldview, or one single source of truth, will show you exactly where you stand and help you make profitable decisions. For your business to survive 10, 20, 30, 40 years, it needs to be profitable, and not just profitable 1 year and 1 year not. No, we're not doing all that. We want consistent profitability. And to be able to do so, you need to have a clear understanding of your data. If we look at our partners in the corporate space, they have a whole business intelligence unit that does this for them. That is why, although you are a small business, you still have data that informs you of the decisions you need to make, informs you of those decisions around innovation, around hiring, around which campaigns are, giving you the best ROI, and all of that. Yeah. So that is why it's important that you understand the different reasons, the why businesses are losing profit during the season, which is again cash flow leaks, big, emotional spending, big, and scattered data, big, big, big. And it seems like everything that I'm saying here is just, bam, hitting home. That is because I have seen this over and over and over again, not only in the small business space, but also in the corporate space. Not necessarily, the emotional spend might not be, so obvious, but you can see when certain projects are initiated, you can feel when certain decisions are a knee jerk reaction rather than a proactive decision. So, we've covered the top three reasons why businesses are losing profit during the holidays: cash flow leaks, emotional spending, and scattered data. So, if any of this resonates with you, my profit hour is designed to help you with this. In just 60 minutes, yes, 60 sweet minutes of clarity, of insights, of actions to make sure that your profit and your cash flow is clear. You know exactly what is going on, you know exactly what to do to move those levers in the direction that you want it to do. So we're going to uncover your biggest cash flow leaks. We're going to stop emotional spending in its tracks. So again, take you through that to make sure that you are able to be aware and identify when this is happening, and also create a clear plan to optimize your profits heading into the new year, heading into the new quarter. So as I mentioned, I've opened 5 spots this week and they will be going fast. So DM me Profit, so direct message me Profit, or click on the link to book a session. If you're ready, yes, I'm in. I want to have this hour with you. I want to have this power hour and go through what it is that's happening and what my next best steps are to be able to make sure that I I make sure that I do not have any profit leaks and make sure that I do not have any cash flow issues. And I've already mentioned to you during this session as what that looks like. Being able to know what that looks like is important then to be able to identify the root cause of what the issue is. So just to close off beautifully, I have one more questions for you then. Are you tracking your cash flow weekly? I asked you that earlier. I'm asking you again. If you are, say yes in the comments below. Okay? And don't let the holidays rush drain your business. It is a business, is a business. This is a busy time of year, totally understandable, but don't let the rush drain you. Don't let the rush drain your business. Okay? Let's make this a very profitable season and not just a one-off profitability. That's the important thing here is profitability henceforth. Yes, it's something that we want to maintain, it's something that we can sustain. It's not a one-hit wonder. That is why the profit hour is so good at what it does, because we put in a plan, we create a plan so that it is sustainable. It's not something that works now and then stops working. And also, it's giving you the tools, not necessarily just giving you the answer and let you off. It's also giving you the tool so that you can find the answers for yourself. Once I show you how to work a math equation, you're able to then figure out, you're able to apply those principles to other math equations. Make sense? You know, the whole teach them how to fish and all that fish stuff. I've been talking a lot about fishing here. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe this is what Christmas dinner should be. Rather than go for the usual, poultry, we should go for seafood. I digress. Well, this is it. So make sure you join me here tomorrow, same time, same place for day 3 of the series. Am I saying the right day? Oh no, day 4 of the series. Anyway, join me here tomorrow, same time, same place for day 4 of the series. And then we'll be I am just looking at my notes here as you see me. There will be cover what hidden profit leaks are costing you thousands. So if you've not watched yesterday's, make sure you watch it. And that will help you because the series is building on top of each other so that you have a full picture, you have a full understanding of exactly what on earth is going on with your profits, what on earth is happening with the cash flow, so that you are able to keep the cash flow positive and keep the profit margins banging. Okay, so that will be the next session. And then the next one after that is how a 60-minute session um, can transform your finances. So we have 2 more sessions to go for you to get a full picture of how you can go away and do this for yourself. So you might not necessarily work with me on this, but I've given you all the resources necessary to be able to go away and do it yourself. More times than none, my clients would love to do it, but they are CEOing, so they leave me to do the finance and data management. So make sure you're back here tomorrow if you're an entrepreneur that is overwhelmed by scattered finances, struggling with cash flow, and looking for quick insights to identify profit leaks and optimize for immediate results. Immediate results. So on that note, enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you on the next session. Bye for now.